Today we'll be knowing about first in first out page replacement algorithm. As you can see that the reference string is as given below. Here again we'll assume this page table size as 3. As all of you know that this we call it as page frames. Initially when we refer this string 7, there is no frame in this page table. So therefore a page fault occurs. You go to the backing storage device and bring in the appropriate frame and update the page table and restart the execution. Similarly, you have one more page fault which occurs over here. So 7 is already there. 0 you update the page table and restart the execution. And even in the third case you do have a page fault. So therefore 7 is retained over here. 0 is retained over here and 1 is brought in over here. Again when I refer the next reference string, again a page fault occurs. Now I need to select the victim among 7, 0 and 1, which is the frame which has come first into this page table. 7 is over here, 0 is over here and 1 is over here. So therefore which is the frame that has come first into this page table? 7 is the first frame which has come into the page table. So therefore I need to select 7 as the victim, and in place of 7 I'll replace this 2, and 0 I'll retain and 1 also I'll retain. And in the next case you have 0. So 0 is already there in the page table, so therefore the page fault does not occur. So therefore you will just signify a into mark over there. Now what I need to do is I need to erase all the pencil marks over here. So again what we'll do is we'll analyze this previous entries, which is the frame that has to be replaced. So therefore 0 is used over here, 0 is used over here, 1 is used over here and 2 is used over here. So in place of 0 I'll bring in this 3 and update the page table. So 2 I retain. In place of 0 I'll bring in this 3 and 1 I'll retain. So the next reference string is 0. Again a page fault occurs. I write the page table and erase all these pencil marks. After erasing the pencil marks, again I'll try to analyze this 2, 3 and 1. 3 is used over here, 2 is used over here and again 1 is used over here. So therefore in place of 1, 0 comes over here. So therefore I'll retain this 2, I'll retain this 3 and in place of 1, 0 comes. I need to select the which is the first frame which has come into the frame. I need to select that as the victim and replace it by the new frame. Again 4 is used over here. So therefore again a page fault occurs. I rewrite the page table and erase all the pencil marks over here. Now again what I'll do is after erasing the pencil marks, 2, 3 is 0 is over here. So therefore 2 is used over here and then 3 is used over here and then 0 is used over here and here. So which is the first one that has come into the page table? 2 is the first one which has come into the page table. So therefore in place of 2 I replace this 4 and I'll retain this 3 and 0. Now again 2 is used, so therefore again a page fault occurs. So I'll redraw the page table of size 3 and again I'll examine this 430 and erase all the pencil marks over here. After erasing the pencil marks, again I'll try to analyze the frames, that is 4, 3 and 0. 4 is used over here, 0 is used over here and 3 is used over here. Among the available frames, which is the first one which has entered into this page table? 3 is the first page frame that has arrived into the page table. So I need to select this as the victim and replace it with 2. So now 4 comes over here, 2 comes over here and 0 comes over here. So again next I do have a page fault. Again since 3 is not there in the page table, after writing this again I'll erase all these tick marks. I'll analyze the values of 4, 2 and 0. 4 is used over here, 2 is used over here and 0 is used over here. So therefore in place of 0 I'll bring in this 3. So 4 comes over here, 2 is retained, and in place of 0 I'll bring in this 3. Again 0 has come over here. So similarly what we do is we erase all the pencil marks over here. After erasing the pencil marks, I'll analyze the values 4, 2, 3. 3 is used over here, 2 is used over here, 4 is used over here. When I compare this 4, 2 and 3, 4 is the frame which has come first into the page table. So therefore in place of 4 I should replace this 0. So in place of 4, 0 is retained, 2 is also retained, and 3 is also retained. Now I'll erase all the pencil marks over there. Now when I look into the next reference string, 3 is already there in the page table, so therefore the page fault will not occur. And again when I come to this reference string, here also you don't have a page fault. Why? Because already 2 is there in this particular page table. So when I examine this one, yes, of course a page fault occurs, so therefore I'll write the page table. Now I need to examine the values of 0, 2 and 3. Here when I try to analyze this 0, 2 and 3, what I need to do, 0 is used over here, and again 3 is used over here as well as here, and 2 is used over here and as well as here. Now what we need to do is we need to check the values, that is 0, 2 and 3. When I analyze it, I'll retain this 0, and as well as I need to analyze these values, which is the first frame which has come into this page table, that is 2 is the first frame that has come into the page table. So I'll select that as the victim, and I'll retain this 0, and in place of 2 I'll replace this 1, and I'll retain this 3. Again when I get into the next one, again a page fault occurs, so therefore I write the page table and erase the pencil mark. I'll examine the values of 0, 0, 1, 3. 0 is used over here, and again 3 is used over here, and again here, and again 1 is used over here. Now when I examine all these three values, which is the first frame that is used, this is the first frame that is used, so therefore this was the first frame which came into the page table, so therefore in place of 3 I'll replace this 2. So 0 is retained here, 1 is retained over here, and 2 is retained over here. Now in the next case, 0, a page fault does not occur. Why? Because already the required frame is there in the page table. And again in the next case, 1 is also is there in the page table, so therefore the page fault does not occur. Now 7, yes, of course a page fault occurs. You'll write the page table and then examine the values of 0, 1 and 2. Now I'll erase all these pencil marks. Now I analyze the 0, 1 and 2. 1 is used over here, 1 is used over here, 0 is used over here, and 0 is used over here. Because this 0 we never replaced it, so therefore we need to mark this 0. And then 3 is used over here, so which is the first frame which has entered into the frame, this 0. So therefore what I need to do, in place of 0 I bring in this 7, and I'll retain this 1 and 2. So the next thing is you do have 0. 0 is not there in the page table, so therefore again a page fault occurs. So I need to select the victim. So again what I'll do, I'll erase all these pencil marks. When I examine the values of 7, 1 and 2, 7 is used over here, 1 is used over here, and 1 is used over here. Since we have used it over 2 is used over here, we don't take into consideration that, and again the recent 2 we take into consideration, so therefore 2 is used over here. So among the available frames, which is the first one which has brought into the page table, this is the first one. So therefore in place of 1 I'll bring in 0. So therefore 7 comes over here, 0 comes over here, and 2 is retained. Again in the next frame, again a page fault occurs, so therefore Now what I need to do, I need to examine these values, that is 7, 0 and 2. I need to erase all the pencil marks. After analyzing this 702, we know that 0 is used over here, 7 is used over here, and 2 is used over here. So the selected victim is 2 over here. So therefore in place of 2, I'll bring in this 1. So the table entries would become 701. Now as you can see that the page fault occurrence is 15. That is the boxes that what we have written is nothing but the page fault. And the into marks signifies that the page fault did not occur. When I try to compare with what is the advantage and disadvantage, or the positives and negatives, the positive points are the advantage is nothing but it is easy to implement, and the negative point is when compared to the LRU page replacement algorithm, this particular algorithm gives less performance. Thank you.